Well, hey guys, it's Viejo here. We're into the third week of November here in 2022. Nice kind of a crisp fall day here on the central coast of California. It's clear overhead and sunny outside, but it's cool. I only got 60 degrees out here in the garage and it's midday already. You might remember that a few days ago I did a funky little short video about why is Viejo sorting this 38 special brass. Well, today we're going to answer that question. And if you saw the splash screen for this video, then you kind of already know what's up. But what I was doing that for was I was making a box full of special ammo, and I wanted it all to be as controlled as I can. So we've got some rounds here that are cast. These are from a Seiko mold. This is the Lee 105 grain 358. This is the Lee 140 grain 358. I've got some Hornady XTP hollow points here, and I've got a couple of plated bullets. These are from Extreme, the 158 grain hollow point plated, and even some 147 grain wad cutters. And what those are for is this right here. I got a new revolver. Just picked it up yesterday after its 10-day jail cell time here in California. So this is from Cimarron Firearms. It's my third Cimarron. The other two were Uberti made. This one's made by Pietta of Italy for Cimarron. And it is in 357 caliber, single action army style. There's a few things that are different than the classic single action army, but I'm going to show you all about it. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and open the box and see what's in here. Of course, I already know. Okay, we got some paperwork and so forth here. We got a kind of a cool bumper sticker. I think I'm going to put this on my casting cart. We've got the manual. Okay. This firearm is made for Cimarron by Pietta of Italy. So our instruction manual here is both in English and Italian. Okay. And we've got some nice diagrams in the back. This is kind of a generic manual that covers a number of their single action firearms. So if you look at the list back here, old model, first generation, okay, the transfer bar model, which this is not. Okay. So we got the manual here, and there's all kinds of safety information in here. I've been through this already. Okay, it tells you how to cock it, load it, how to store it safely, and so forth. A little blurb from the NSSF on firearm safety. Okay, a little booklet here. And we've got Cimarron owner notice, quality inspection, repair policy, how to ship it back to them, refunds if you need it. Something on a charcoal blue, which is a different finish than what I have in the silver purple. Okay. So there's that. We got the warranty here. All right, so let's take a quick look here. This is the Cimarron Pistolero is the name of the model. I'll bring you in close enough here so you can read it on the barrel. Okay, we got that brass grip frame and trigger guard that we like. Okay, color case hardened finish, Italian walnut grips. Supposedly a 4 3/4 inch barrel. So let's get it out of the box. Take some close. Okay, we got the box out of the way, and before we do anything else, let's go ahead and clear this firearm. So 2 clicks open the gate, and we can look down there and we can see daylight through our cylinders. Okay. All right. If we open this all the way up while we're here, no transfer bar. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 4-click. So just out of the box, it feels good in the hand. Okay, the barrel being shorter than my other Cimarron revolvers, which are 7.5-inch barrels. This was really nice. Okay. If we look at the sights now, of course, looking down the top of the sights there with the hammer forward, you're not going to see much. Okay. We got to have the hammer back before you can see the sights. Now that front blade is considerably wider than the blades on either my 1873 model or the 1875 Remington. And I like that. That's a nice wide sight down there. It's going to be easier to pick up. My cavalry model got a really thin blade on the 1873 single action. It's just so thin that it almost disappears down there at the front of the long barrel. Okay. First glance, everything looks good. Okay, there's no markings on the butt, no markings on the back strap. We do have some markings here, 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 and there's one on the cylinder that I spied, so we'll get in here closer in a few minutes and look at that. And as far as other markings, you can see right here we've got the Colt patent numbers there. And there's this marking here on the cylinder, and I'm not sure what that is. I can't quite make out the top part of that above that little cartouche there. And then it appears to be CIP over a letter N. I don't know what that is. I should know, but I don't. Any of you guys know what that stuff is? Let me know in the comments if you're familiar with that. Okay, and we got nice color case hardening on the frame. Okay, along with obviously the brass and nice Italian walnut stocks on there, and these stocks are fitted pretty darn well. I don't see any gaps. Okay, nothing on this side. We do have the manual safety screw. It's not really a screw, it's just a pin, spring-loaded pin, similar to what Ruger has. And they call that the manual safety screw because we can push our base pin in further, and that safety pin will latch into that groove right there, hold the base pin back, and it will protrude back through the frame here and prevent the hammer from going forward. That's if you decided you wanted to carry this with a full 6 cartridges in the cylinder, which makes absolutely no sense to me, because then in order to get it to firing position, you got to struggle with that and get that pulled out one little click. Best to load them cowboy style, I think. You know, the cowboy method, open the gate, come back, 2 clicks, quarter cock. Okay, load 1, skip 1, load 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, close the gate, move the hammer back, and let the hammer back down. And that brings up the firing pin over an empty chamber with the next round right here in this cylinder, right here in this chamber, so that when we cock it the next time, it brings that one up into battery and you're ready to shoot. Okay, notice that you can see the firing pin protruding there. When our cylinder base pin is in the safety position, that pin will not be seen. Okay, it stays recessed back into the frame. We'll show you how that works in a minute. Okay, now right down there you can see the back end of that base pin. Okay, right there. And when we put this into the manual safety mode, by pushing the base pin in a little further and locking it in there, that's going to prevent the hammer from going all the way forward. So let me do that and I'll show you what we mean. But effectively what we're going to do is we're going to push in the little lock pin here and then push our base pin in further, and you should be able to hear it kind of click into place. Okay, I've got it started. There it clicked. Now let's take a look at this end. Okay, can you see the base pin extending out a little bit further now than it did before? So when we let the hammer down, okay, that hammer cannot go all the way forward. Okay, and notice that there is no transfer bar. And then to get things back into the firing position, my base pin's really tight in this firearm still. It needs to be fired and rotated and loosened up. So I discovered, the process is to push our lock pin across, okay, and then pull the base pin out until it clicks, but boy, it's hard to grab. So what you can do is go ahead and push your lock pin forward like that, then come in here and use the hammer to push your base pin out, and it will click into the correct position. And if we look down there, you can see the firing pin protruding. And as far as head shake goes, let's go here. It's very tight. Lockup is good. I'm not getting any movement in there, nothing perceptible anyway. So that's good. So let's do some of the metrics. I want to weigh it. We'll take a look at the barrel length, check our cylinder throats, and see where they sit. All right, so let's go ahead and try the trigger pull here with the Lyman gauge. 4.37, let's do it again. 4.9. Cimarron advertises this as a 4 3/4 inch barrel length, so let's check that. Remember, guys, that you don't measure your barrel from the front of the frame. Okay, you got to measure kind of from the back of the forcing cone. I'm not going to take my cylinder out to do this, but we can see that if I start my measurement right there, okay, we are out there at 4 3/4. Turn this where you can see it a little better. Right there at 4 3/4. So that seems to be accurate. Here we are on my cheesy little kitchen scale. So we'll call that 2 pounds, 8 ounces, 2.5 pounds, almost right on. Okay, to remove the cylinder, then we pull our base pin out, and this pin will come all the way out if you want to. So be careful. Do this over your bench, okay, so you don't drop it on the floor. Okay, then we come to half cock. Open our loading gate, and then you may have to wiggle that cylinder a little bit, but it will come out just like that. All right, this is my 357 pin. Let's see if I can bring that up here. They're marked on here. There we are. 357. And if we go into our cylinder throats here, okay, that's a fairly snug fit. A tiny bit of wobble. Goes in there, again, tiny bit of wobble. There's number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Now let's try this one. This is my 358 pin. 358 won't go, won't go, won't go, won't go, won't go, and won't go. And it almost feels like it wants to start, but not quite. And since here's our 357 again, since it went fairly easily with just the tiniest bit of wobble, I'm going to call these 357.5, and they are very, very uniform. Okay, they are less than 1,000th apart, which is good. Okay, we got a couple of ciders over there, and then this first group up here is with the Seiko bullet. And these are the Lee 105 grain cast bullet. This is the extreme 147 grade wad cutter group. I threw one out there. And in the lower right is the Hornady 125 grain XTP hollow point. All right, guys, we're back from the range. We had a good time out there shooting with the new revolver, the new Pistolero 357. I shot all 38 special rounds through it today. And some I did better than others with, and I did have a little, well, I won't say trouble, but a couple times I didn't have the GoPro running when I thought I did, so we didn't get all the footage that I wanted to. But you got to see a little bit there of the shooting. And with only 50 rounds through it so far, I mean, it's just too early to call this a good review. But so far, you saw all the measurements. It shot okay. It shot better with some rounds that I ran through it than others. I think the trigger pull seems a little stiff right now, but I think that that's going to improve as we kind of get some more rounds run through it. Overall, I'm happy with it thus far. Okay, it's a fun revolver to shoot, that's for sure. Every single Action Army clone is fun, at least for me. I enjoy shooting them. And the firearm does seem to be well made. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed that. And for now, that's all she wrote.